and do like an NFL thing too, because I want to start talking NFL. I've been watching that a lot this season, getting back into it, especially after last night. That was an entertaining game, even though I don't buy the Bengals long term. Long term I do, but long term this season, I mean, no, I don't buy them being like a threat this season to really anybody. But I think that they have a lot of good things to build on. Especially when it comes to their offense. Last night, that first half was really, 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 really hard to watch. I mean, the run game was just despicable. They just don't have any creative run play calling at all. It's literally like mix into the A gap, mix into the B gap, and that's it. And they don't do any sort of, sweeps or pitch plays or, creative blocking schemes where they have guys pulling. You never, you see that's like sometimes, but it's very basic and like rudimentary. Like, getting Joe Mixon in open space just seems like such an issue for Zac Taylor. Like, and Marvin Lewis had, I thought did a better job of running the ball with Mixon than even Zac Taylor has, sadly enough, to admit that. But not saying that Marvin Lewis was a running guru by any means, but I mean, man, that was embarrassing, that first half. I mean, what was it, 6 yards rushing, 4 yards rushing, something like that in the first half? You're not going to win a football game with that, with those kind of statistics. You're just straight up not. I have the same problem with the Eagles, man. The Eagles don't even want to run the football. I mean, I couldn't believe watching that game on Monday. Because, the thing with Doug Peterson was like, this guy literally, like, does not want to run the football. That was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to get rid of him. I'm like, he has no trust in the run at all. He just run, but he loves play action. That's like, how can you love play action without running the football? Your play action is pretty much useless because the defense just knows you're going to throw the ball every time. When you're throwing the ball literally every play, the defense knows that you're going to throw the ball every play. There's no trickery with either of these coaches. With Nick Sirianni, we're seeing the same thing we saw with Doug Peterson, where he doesn't want to run the football. And you got Miles Sanders, who's this great young back with a lot of potential, from a Big Ten school, has, great speed and athleticism. And what are we doing? We're just, making him sit on the sideline. He had 3 carries on Monday. I don't know what it is. And look, I'm somebody that, I love running the football. I love hard-nosed football. I'll admit it. I like ground and pound football. I think that's where you win games, is off of running the football. If you can run the football, it opens everything else up on the field. And I think a lot of these coaches in today, they see, the big stats. They see the Patrick Mahomes and the gunslingers that come out and just throw these air bombs, and they just think that they can make that for their team. And it's just like, it takes a certain type of guy to have that kind of thing. And there's many other ways you can win by just simply outsmarting your opponent. It's really that simple. Tricking them, making them using misdirection, catching guys sleeping, exploiting mismatches. That's stuff that you don't really see the Bengals or the Eagles doing at all this season, really. We saw it a little bit last night, but it was really because, good route running from the receivers of the Bengals last night. C.J. Uzomah had a fantastic night last night. He was really great, finding really great success, just sitting in the hook, sitting in the flat. He saw that they were giving it up to us all night, and we still didn't want to even throw it out there. We were, we're trying to air it out every play, and I like that. I like daring these corners to make plays, but they just weren't putting Joe in a position to actually succeed offensively in the first half. That was just a disgrace. I'm not a Zac Taylor guy, and I'm not a Nick Sirianni guy. I'm not a big fan of either of these coaches. I think they both have very similar problems. I think these two teams are very similar this year. Again, just like they were last year. They're very much on the same path right now. Kind of in limbo, have a young team, but the Eagles have more of an older team. But still, they're kind of in limbo offensively. Can't run the football. Can't get the ball to their young, talented receivers. Young quarterbacks that make mistakes. A lot of things.